Hi there, Zam here for NerdTube. These are my thoughts and spoilers of Mayor of Kingstown Season 3, Episode 1, Soldier's Heart. So good to get Jeremy Renner back on our screens. The guy's a phenomenal talent. As an entertainer, he can sing, he can play musical instruments, he can act, he can do everything. He was made to entertain us. And after the horrific injury he had almost a couple of years ago, it's really good to see him back on our screens. And I'm also really impressed in how quickly this show is on our screen, because filming started for Mayor of Kingstown Season 3 at the beginning of January, and it's now the beginning of June, and we're getting our first episode. Great stuff. I wish more people in the industry would take note of how these guys operate when it comes to churning out a product, which is really popular, by the way, and really good, and getting it on our screens within half a year of filming. Anyways, on to this particular episode. Now, if you recall, Mike McCluskey, aka Jeremy Renner, his mother died at the end of season 2. And so we were at her mother's funeral, and a car bomb goes off. And because of that, a lot of the cops are wondering what the hell's going on, because Mike also has a brother who's also a cop, and a lot of cops are at this funeral, and now they want revenge. Who is it? Is it the Blackstreet gangs? Is it the white gangs? Who knows? Is it the Crips? Is it the Aryans? Everyone's pondering, but Mike needs to get to the bottom of this before innocent people get targeted by the police. Now, we also remember at the end of season 2 that the character of Milo Santa, played by the fantastic Aidan Gillian, or Gillen even, sorry, he allegedly died, but obviously he didn't, because we heard him talk on the phone to the character of Iris, who knows that he's still alive. Was it Iris or was it Tatiana? I can't recall, to be honest. Regardless, we know that he left a message, or he was on the phone saying that he did his bit. He was supposed to have died in the explosion on that boat, if you remember. That, I believe, is not the case. I'm hoping at some point this season we do get some resolution to that. But in the meantime, as we do need some sort of Eastern European sort of gangster type, we have the character Constantine, who's come in to fill in for Milo whilst he stays underground, faking his death. And Constantine, he's wondering who's loyal to him, and he sees the character Tatiana and wondering, is she loyal to me? Maybe not, because she was loyal to Milo, and if she's loyal to Milo, then she might not be loyal to me. So at the end of episode 1, he whacks her while she was almost holding a baby. She put the baby down, and without even caring if he might have still shot the baby, he shoots her in the back a few times before shooting her in the head. And that's pretty much how episode 1 ended. Now, there are other things during the course of this episode which is going to obviously flourish during the course of this season, so we can expand on things. And some of them obviously are continuing from last season. As if we remember Bunny, he stole those guns from that gun shop by breaking into it with his van and just piling all the weapons in there, like Commando with Arnold Schwarzenegger. And he had to give those guns back, but he decided to give those guns back by leaving it in a very upper class neighborhood, so to speak, which is a funny moment, because we've got all these rich white kids playing hockey in the middle of the street. And next thing you know, there's a van full of guns there and all of that. Yeah, it was very amusing how all of that was done. Regarding Irish, she's a person you can't trust, and I'm kind of surprised with the character with Mike McCluskey, because he knows who he can trust, who he can't. He's a smart guy. He's a wise fox. He's got his wits about him. But when it comes to Iris, he seems to be pretty stupid. Now, he's not love struck by her because he hasn't banged her, and he's refraining himself from wanting to do it. But even though Iris is offering herself to him on a plate, but regardless, he just seems to fall for her charms, and I don't know how long we can play on that before we start thinking to ourselves, okay, Mike, you're a fucking idiot. This girl, she's full of tricks. Yeah, she's she can manipulate people very easily. How the hell can she manipulate you? You're a lot smarter than that. You shouldn't be falling for her shit. And we can't trust her, obviously. I mean, she keeps falling back to her vices, going back to people who will happily fuck her over. And she was at one point a sex slave in the earlier season. So she herself doesn't know what's good for her own self, but she's also very good at manipulating people too. So we'll see how things pan out for her, considering that she's living in the McCluskey household as well. And Carl's wife, let me just pull up her name. Where is she? I can't really see her name on here. Oh, sorry. No, that's not her. Tracy, I think her name is. Regardless, if I got it wrong, Carl's wife has just given birth. So now Mike is an uncle. Congratulations, Mike. So we'll see how that pans out in the upcoming episodes too. So now there's a couple of babies on the scene. Tatiana had her kid, and now that kid's pretty much an orphan. And Carl's got a kid of his own. And I'm always wondering, will Carl eventually die at some particular point? Because I'm not saying they're necessarily teasing that, but Mike is so worried that he's going to lose another brother, a brother who has a family now, that there's almost a moment where you feel like certain things are set up for tragedy, and this might be it. So we'll see how that pans out. Oh, there's another thing as well. The character Kareem, he's the prison warden guy. He's the prison guard guy, if you remember him. He's been teaching some new recruits. And one of these new recruits is a young man who tried to help an inmate who was shanked in the prison yard. And whilst doing that, he was kind of scolded afterwards a little bit. Just kind of told, look, don't help an inmate until there's cover for you by the other prison officers. Because when this new guard tried to help that inmate, he was doing it alone and he might have got fucked over himself. But we find out that this new prison guard as well works for Bunny. So we'll see how that pans out. A little bit of, departed, so to speak, but in the prison world. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing more of that expansion in the story. Nevertheless, a great episode. Really good to be back. This is one of Paramount Plus's best shows outside of all that Yellowstone stuff. And I love Yellowstone, and I'm really gutted that it hasn't finished properly. And I love the spin-off shows as well. And Tulsa King is great, and I think The Rabbit Hole's a decent show too. But this is arguably one of their best shows. It is fantastic. I love it so much. Cannot get enough of this. It almost feels dystopian to a degree, Mayor of Kingstown, but it isn't. But everything's so much gone to shit that it might as well be. Anyway, let me know what you think. I'm going to give this episode, I'm going to give it a good 9 out of 10. I mean, I was so happy to be back, and I can't wait for next week to get some more of this amazing show. Let me know what you think of Mayor Kingstown Season 3, Episode 1. I fucking loved it, and I can't wait for more. Anyway, take care now, and don't forget to like, share, subscribe to the name is NerdTube. Remember it.